Hello, I'm Amy Voce, and you're listening to the Build Up podcast, brought to you by the Federation of Master Builders. Joining me in the studio are my co-hosts Aidan Cropper, Managing Director of IPSUM UK Ltd, based in Nottinghamshire, and David Gutierrez, Director of Nest Building Group Ltd, both member companies of the FMB. On this episode, we're talking all things marketing and business growth. We all know marketing your building business is essential to get clients through the door, but how many of us have enough time to dedicate to it? On this episode of the Build Up podcast, we're discussing some simple tips and tricks you can do to help you nail marketing as a small building business. So guys, let's get into a bit of marketing. What do you think, or why do you need to put time into planning how you want to market your business, Aidan?
It's just really important to get it across to your clients or potential clients. I mean, for me, Instagram's been a massive tool. I've got a website, a small website, and that links through to Instagram. But Instagram, to me, it just keeps things live.
And it's free.
and it's free, yeah, exactly, yeah. And I just found that, you know, we spent a lot of money on the website initially, and I didn't really get the impression that people were particularly using it. And obviously it was, you know, you had to log in and speak to the company that set it up to update it. But on Instagram, it was free. You could do, I mean, it's come on so much now as well. You could do live videos. But it felt like clients literally just wanted to see the photos. I did. And I think
that's where I get my ideas from.
Yeah.
Show them to builders.
It's so good. And you get I think you get a feel of the character within the building as within this company as well, and it shows the quality of work and that it really matters to you as well. So for me, that's been a massive tool, and I think is really, really important in the growth of our business.
And why do you need to really focus on getting your brand right, do you think, David?
Well, I mean, you need to get your brand right because you want to be better than the others. Let's be honest. You want to win the work.
Yeah.
What separates you from all the other builders and all the other construction companies out there that are offering the same service? Why convince a client or potential client to use you? They could use 10 other builders down the road. So it's making sure that you come across what's your niche. So that's, again, we're talking about what's your niche. So make sure that if you have one, get that out on your socials. Instagram, like you were saying, Aidan, is a massive tool, and it's live. You can do lives. You can even go the extra mile and pay for a videographer, and really go to town. That's worth the investment. And I mean, John and I have got a bathroom company as well, so that's really active on the bathroom company. So when we're sort of in the middle of building one, or when we've finished, you can attach like music to it and text and what have you. So it gives people ideas, but also an inspiration. But also then with that, they'll say, well, hold on a minute, they're in our area, so we can use these guys. So that's why it's so important.
And have you put a lot of time and thought into how you market the business? Is it, how long, during your week is it taken up with marketing?
For me, I'll be honest, I probably don't do enough. I think I've got to the point where, we generate a lot of inquiries, just through what we do already. So initially when we were starting out, it was massively key. And actually, I can experience in a similar respect how important sort of Instagram's been, all that marketing from my perspective in terms of engaging with new trades as well, because there's been guys and girls on Instagram that I've ended up using based on their profile. So for me, it's been massively important. But I'll be honest, personally, I probably don't do enough, and I think you probably should dedicate at least a few hours a week just to keeping it live and updating it, because I think it is important. The other thing as well is, and you pointed on it, David, is your niche, because I think the problem is what I tended to do was you kind of put the big jobs on there, and all of a sudden that becomes you as a company. It's like, oh wow, this guy's just interested in the big jobs. He's going to be too expensive for the smaller jobs, and actually we're doing the smaller jobs all the time, and we do a good job.
But it's getting it out there. saying that you mix it around and say we do affordable, or you for example, and the reason why I bring up the bathroom more than the building is that with the bathrooms you can spend a medium range amount of money to make it look like a very high end bathroom at the end of it, with lights and niches, funnily enough, and different designs and what have you. So it's explaining through the socials what you're doing, and anyone can afford this. If you're looking for a new bathroom and you've only got X amount of money, this is what you could have. Just at least 1 hour a week is all you need to kind of update your socials. Really, more than anything else, it's just making sure that you're present and consistently there, whether it's alive, like your story. So a story disappears, but if you put something there, it's just a quick picture of what you've just built, or maybe some bricks, or just a picture of your team with a small explanation or something. It just makes you, I suppose, present.
Well, if you're listening right now thinking, this sounds good, but I don't really know where to start, we've got a little challenge for you. Take 20 minutes to really think about what you do and where you want to be this time next year. So you've got to start with your brand, who you are, what you do, and what do you want your business to be. Distill it into a sentence. And then what are your values? Have you guys ever sat down and really thought about it like this, what your values are as a business?
Yeah, I mean, although not massively. I mean, it's interesting you've sort of asked that question, because it has prompted me to think about it and about who we are as a business. And I think integrity is probably the biggest one for me, is that we're a trusted business, and we've got that integrity. We'll do a good job, and it's then just reflecting that in your socials as well. So I think just showing live projects through the stages, showing you maybe on site and the team on site, just to sort of build that trust up of actually what happens. And that's like the massive benefit of Instagram and the socials, that you can show that. So if you go into a client's house, like, they might just see your website, but they want to see like the mechanics behind just you as a front person sort of trying to sell your business, and by showing that within your Instagram, I think it will give clients like reassurance that what's going on behind the scenes is good, and you have got that integrity based on what you're selling.
Did you
your
do
business
that
at.
as well, David, with your values?
It was from changing the business from Amic Limited to Nest Building Group, was basically what John and I decided to do. Because we both had our very well-known construction companies, but decided to join forces to have more of a quality life, have some time with our family. So our logo has like 4 pillars, which are our children. That represents our children. Nest is the name. Nest was obviously to do with family. So we our values are family. Hence the reason why now it's great to construct all these massive big buildings that I was doing before, and these sort of glitzy glam kind of projects. But what makes us happy is actually changing people's lives, right? So we've gone back to basics of what sort of building company do we want. That's what we've done. We actually have done that. We want to be a building company that can change a family's life. We can help. And also it gives us a quality of life, because we're not stressed with architects and all this kind of stuff as well. So it kind of ticks the box. So that's where our aim is. It's been for the last 3 years with Nest Building Group, and the same with all the other businesses attached to that. So,
and it gives you that focus, I suppose, as well, doesn't it?
Gives you somewhere to aim.
Yeah.
What you want to be. Yeah.
And once you've done that, do you look at or think about the type of clients that you want to attract? Is that important?
It is. I mean, it is important, but I think for me, we work for a diverse range of clients. We also work for some public sector. We want to take some public sector work as well. So, and it's like kind of diverse down. That's been part of our growth plans over the last few years. Is to sort of target public sector works, because it's just it's another avenue in which we can, go down and create income from doing that. And it's been an interesting journey, because it's obviously slightly different to dealing with your client, domestic client, on a day to day. But it's it's been good, but we've had to put systems in place so that we can actually tender for these projects.
How about you, David? Do you kind of look at the type of client you want to attract?
We do.
Yeah.
The type of client that I used to want to attract is different to what we want to attract now. I mean, don't get me wrong, our door's open for any type of client. If you want a nice glitzy glam, open plan, massive extension, we can deliver that. But also we really want to open our doors to, I would say, the normal household client, and actually create some wow factors in their home and have something, create something for, let's call it the average family to enjoy. Everyone should have that space. So that's where we're sort of targeting. I suppose targeting's the wrong word. We're not targeting them, but we want to make sure that we're known that give us a call if you've got a 6 metre by 3 metre extension at the back of your house, as well as a massive double-storey extension with everything, whole renovation.
Yeah.
But we want them to feel comfortable with that. That's the values that John and I have, and that's the values that we want to come across. And I think that when before you're growing your business and you want to create a niche, everyone wants to be that. You want to be that sharp builder that everyone wants to use. It's great. But at the same time, where are you going with that?
I think the most important thing, and we're just touching on that as well, is understanding that, exactly, enjoying your life and, but I think it's understanding your client as well, isn't it? And that's the biggest thing. You can have a diverse range of clients and each client is different. So they've got different, they require different things, and it might be down to the fact that they, I had one architect that we were working for who was also my client, but he was very insistent that all the reveals were, perfectly 90 degrees. And that was his thing. And, it's just, really sort of getting it would sound odd, but it's sort of getting into the mind of your client, and because everyone is different and they're looking for different things.
Look, it's so important.
Part of the art, isn't it?
They're 100% part of the art.
Yeah.
Clients, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing if we didn't have any clients, right? So, and it's important. It's their home. Architects as well. So it's not just us. It's also architects. They need to understand what the client needs, not tell them what they should have. Listen to the client. This is what we tend to do this, and we like to spend time as a family. So let's create a nice space. So when I talk to my clients and we're initially talking about what they want, I listen to them. What do you want out of this extension? What do you want to achieve? What can you envisage in the summertime with your sliders or your bifolds open? And I kind of get into their heads a bit, and then we can deliver, or we can tweak to what you can kind of just envisage them having.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, now you've drilled down to the essence of what your business does and the kind of values. You're going to need a logo to slap on your van, right? And making the branding. It's not all about logos and colours, but visuals are a great way to set the tone. And I know you've mentioned before you used a designer, didn't you? So is that essential?
And then John and I designed this one together with the family, and yeah.
So what do you think you need as a minimum for your business brand?
I suppose you don't want it too busy. You want it catchy, so that people can notice you and remember that. Colours are very important as well. Whether you want to go contemporary kind of greys and whites and blacks and what have you.
It's such a big thing as well, because it follows on when you don't probably realise how important it is when you start out, but changing that at a later stage, but then the logo might match your top colours.
Yeah.
It needs to stand out.
And it's your identity as well. People will start, David from Nest. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's who I am in this area.
Really proud of as well, isn't it? People come back to you and say, "Oh, you're from Nest, or you're from IPSUM." You've chosen that, so it's something to be really proud of, and it's important, to get that right.
Definitely.
And with having very strong brand, business brands, both of you, how did you develop that look and feel? What sort of process did it take? So you used designers each time?
So I had a friend who was really good at sort of technical drawing. So he drew something up for me and went through various options and different colours, and then we linked that back to uniform colours and van logos and things like that. So it was. It took a little while. The biggest one was choosing the name. That was really, really hard. I was Googling stuff for days.
But you want it to be personal. Where before I didn't, It wasn't as personal as this one's personal, but it's a name is really important. But don't be scared to think, well, this logo is going to stay with you forever, because you can kind of revitalize that brand after 10 years, 15 years. Just small tweaks.
Yeah.
You know, that's something else as well. You know, if you're going to create a design or a logo that's relevant right now, but you can probably, like I'm just putting it out there, that you can tweak it. The F&B have tweaked theirs.
Yeah.
So it's don't worry too much about it.
And once you've got your brand and your logo, your values, you're like almost there. What should you be thinking about when it comes to actually marketing the business? So website, I know we've touched on Instagram, it's obviously free. So would you need a website when you're starting out?
I would say so. I think you need that. Clients need somewhere to go and just see your work. I mean, obviously, once you quote for a project, you can give references, and then they can have that interaction with previous clients. But I think initially, like you said, David, like you're against a competitive market, and you need to put yourself out there, and that's your image. If your image looks professional, you're kind of one step ahead already. So for me, it is important. So your website, your socials, and then go into the project, go into the clients, and looking, professional. I think is a big thing. It's just sort of trying to gain that trust initially, and that that happens just almost naturally.
And what about with paid advertising? Or have you found things with your marketing strategy which has worked really well, or things that haven't, David?
To be fair, like this time round, we're experimenting loads. Like, for example, our website now is being tweaked again, so updated. Yeah. We want a tool now where we don't have to come offline when it's being tweaked, and then go back online when it's done. So
the other one I just might add is the F&B profile that you get, because actually, in terms of like building where you are on like your Google ratings, the F&B sort of gets that traffic, like so much traffic. So for us, I think if you type in IPSUM UK into Nottingham Builders, the F&B profile comes up pretty much straight away before my website, because the website isn't getting the amount of traffic, whereas F&B is getting loads of traffic. So that's the importance
that's about becoming, when you first start up as well, it's quite difficult to become a member of an association straight away, because you have to prove yourself, right? You're going to be vetted. They want to know, they want to see some projects. So you kind of got to build that up first. And then once you've got that, then yes, massively advised to jump on to a federation like the F&B, and that gives you a presence online if you can't afford a website. But Instagram is, I think, the winner at the moment, and local Facebook groups and what have you, because we haven't mentioned Facebook. I think that's still the winner.
And do you pay at all for paid advertising through those platforms?
No.
Just use it, yeah.
No, I've never paid for any advertising. Yeah. So.
And do you find it hard to keep on? Like, social media can very much feel like a full-time job. Sometimes there's a lot to, if you're relying on that as your platform. How do you keep on top of that?
I'll be honest. I'm
delegate.
I'm pretty rubbish. Yeah. So I mean, I do all our social media, but I don't keep on top of it enough. But there are obviously people that you can delegate that to, which I think for me, sort of moving forward, that's probably something I'll definitely look at. Do you do the?
Well, no, there is someone that we are talking to now that she can take on all of our socials, so that we don't have to worry about it. Yeah. And all we need to do is send her loads of, like, keep on sending updated pictures and what have you. Yeah. Another thing as well to add is that make sure your pictures look professional. We've all got decent phones nowadays, but make sure that you spend a bit of time. Don't feel that, don't be embarrassed, or wait until everyone's left if you feel embarrassed, and then get them angles right, get the pictures right, turn the lights on and off, make sure the mood lighting's right, what have you, move things around so that it looks clear. Just make sure that whatever you're posting looks nice.
Also post things like the fact that, on a daily basis, you're keeping the project clean. Yeah. Like site safety as well, and just things like that, because it's the stuff that clients might be sort of more interested in and looking for when they're looking at, builders.
I have noticed a bit of a trend recently in your industry. A lot of construction workers doing like TikTok videos and dances on. How is that going down? Because I mean, that's marketing, isn't it?
Yeah, no.
Have you done that yet?
Done a few.
Have you actually? Can you send us the link to those?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to find out. Yeah, I mean, look, it is a trend. At the same time, it's kind of that fine line, isn't it? Of we're professionals, but we want to put a little bit of a light heart on that. What sort of audience is that going to reach out to? Yeah, it's going to reach out to a few young people, but potential clients, and you've got a bricklayer laying bricks and spinning and doing a moonwalk. Not sure whether you're going to pick him as build your extension. But yeah, TikTok doesn't get used enough actually for our industry. And I think that, with these high speed, you can set like a camera up and you can put it on high speed and what have you. And you can actually, I'm invested in watching builders, weirdly enough, build things really in high speed. And I'm like, you can lose yourself for 20 minutes.
Yeah, because you see the
and you're like, that is so cool. I watch them little guys with a stick.
Yeah.
And they've built things, under the ground, and it's great.
So we invested in a time-lapse camera for one of our sites, and it was brilliant. And also drone footage as well.
Drones.
That's amazing, yeah. So we invested in a drone and time-lapse, and it just creates some great footage. To be honest, it's just great for the client to keep as well. Like, put it all together, send it to the client at the end of the job.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, that's brilliant. Guys, thank you so much for sharing with us today. Once again, share your website and your social media, your TikToks, maybe, David, if you know. No, okay. Just give us your website then, that'll do.
So our website's IPSUM UK.com, and on there's links to our social media.
nestbuildinggroup.com and click on social media.
For the full guide to building a brand for your business, visit the website at fmb.org.uk/brand or drop us a line at buildup@fmb.org.uk. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and make sure you press the bell icon to be notified when the next episode comes out. Join us on the next Build Up podcast, where we'll have more tips and advice. Thanks for listening, and thank you to my co-hosts Aidan and David. We'll see you next time.